start with. Oh my gosh, it's the first day of summer.
Is it today?
Oh,
Oh,
I was like, isn't it the
No, no, no.
21st or something like
It's like the 21st.
that? Well, my kids did the kiddos this morning
My first
and
day of
it
no
was
school.
glorious, so. They do the, I'm born.
I don't
Yeah,
know. They were just.
That's day 2.
Yeah.
That's day 2 of summer. Awesome. What else? What else is good?
Graduated my 18-year-old high school.
Nice.
a lot of tears, a lot of tears. Or-
Dad, not bad.
Woo! There was some tears. And a beautiful wedding last night.
Oh, and it was a nice night.
beautiful.
Yeah. Huh.
They must have it in with the weatherman.
Yeah. Apparently the rest of the week is not so nice. but-
Tuesday was the best day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Awesome, awesome. All right, what else? What else is good?
I bought a boat.
Oh, you got a new Jeep and a boat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, because the Jeep allowed us to pull a boat. And so then
that
we
makes
obviously-
sense. That totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. Awesome. What kind of boat?
It's
Like a fishing boat or like a power boat or like?
boat. I don't know.
All I need to know.
Oh, your boat, that's a
It's
good
a
boat.
1996 Sea Ray.
Okay.
And she's got a little tanning.
Oh, yeah. We need to get like
I
a,
know that.
what are those silver tanning things, you know, that just kind of like, oh yeah, it'll be great. I can't wait. I'm coming with, obviously. I would invite myself. What else? What else is good? Yeah, you can do introductions.
Ronnie here is new to the office. Yeah.
Like your license came in yesterday, or is it today?
Yeah.
One is like,
Literally like yesterday.
yeah. See? Welcome, welcome. What else? What else we got that's good?
Well, I'm looking for myself because I set up the team meeting today.
Oh, right there.
I was in here, it was a real struggle.
It doesn't matter. All that mattered that it was set up.
I did it.
Did great.
I did do great.
I just wanted to thank Derek for letting me do his open house and like 50th in France last weekend.
During the art fair, that's like your whole jam.
Right.
But it was good. It was fun. And we did meet one guy that I've got a follow-up appointment coming up this week. So that's great.
Awesome.
That's exciting.
All right. I do like the graduation hats, Candy.
And Reese.
I know Reese did graduate. I don't want to talk about it because I'm still a little emotional. We just got through the thing. So yes, she did graduate.
And I have one more thing.
Yeah.
I was on a podcast on Monday.
You-
I'll share with you. Yeah, so I was representing the real estate perspective on a financial advisors podcast, and so I'm sharing it
Can
with
we
you.
also talk about how you got connected with this person? Because it was in the elevator one time, right?
No, it was, actually, I was referred to him to do the voiceover for his intro for a podcast he was gonna start, and then we got to know each other. Then I helped him buy a house last year, and
Yeah. I thought you guys met because he's like right down on the second
he's,
floor.
yeah, he's
third
down the
floor.
third floor, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was referred to him to do the intro for his podcast
Awesome.
a couple of years ago.
Awesome, awesome.
Is that Spotify?
Friend.
Spotify?
It's on Spotify. The name of his podcast is called A Steward's View. He's written a book on stewardship and that kind of thing, and it's about, his focus is making wise financial decisions, so.
Awesome. Super cool. Super cool. Fun. June training calendar is out and ready to go. So we've got some free CE. That is in person only, correct?
It is.
Okay, so in person only, on the 17th, we've got our bi-weekly block party, which the ALC is doing next week. We also have our R&R that day. So we have a jam-packed Wednesday. Like you can come for the team meeting, you can come for some lunch, and then we can go have some, fun real estate conversation. Do we know where that is, Rick? We don't yet, but we will. We will get that out soon. On Thursday, Juneteenth, we'll be closed. We still have our Friday movies. We've got our social media playbook on the 24th, and then we have our team meeting is actually going to be offsite with Christy Kimbrell for her agent interview. So we will get that address out and then make sure that you let us know who's all coming. We actually went to the house yesterday. She had a broker open. Super cool house too, just to see. I think it's listed at like 3.2, 3, something like that. Streeter home built. It kind of looks like a resort. So if anyone, what was that show? White Lotus. It kind of reminds you of White Lotus a little bit. So if you're into that show, you should probably come just see the house and then learn a little bit more about Christy. Any questions around our trainings? And as always, when you're asking like how to sign up, when you click right on it, you should be able to go right to the Flowdesk invite or the checkout so that you can sign up for the class.
Yeah, question in the back.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask how do I sign up for it, but I gotta get like put into everything still. so-
We will show you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get the calendar. We've got a question in the back over here.
I'm like, don't take time to.
So when you get that, you'll see, and then we also have emails that come out, so we'll show you that as well. Okay, Friday, you guys, I am so excited about this for anyone that is under the age of 30. If you're not under the age of 30 and you still want to come, you essentially leave here. I know Bethany has been an instructor for this, and she gave me a little bit more heads up that you will actually walk out of this class with a vision and a business plan, essentially for your life, right? Gary Keller is the one that is teaching this. It is live streamed here. So if you're one of those people also that is like, hey, I am not going to go out of here to see Gary, this would also be a great place to see him, just to see him speak, to see how he speaks and what he talks about. Currently, we have 3 people signed up for this. And let me just tell you, it is free. It's free. Free, free, free.
You just, cause we have a lot of old people here, including myself, too old to get.
No, you can come in here.
Still can come, like.
One more night. It's, you know, it's like one of those. Great, great. We also want like young kids to be here too, right? Like, or anyone that is looking to say, hey, I don't really know where I want to go in life, or maybe I do, but I don't know how to get there. And how would I like break it down to actually plan what that looks like as I get older? If I was 18 and there was a class like this, I wish I could have taken it because I made way too many mistakes along the way trying to figure out how to get to a place of a vision. So again, anyone that you know in that age category, I would highly recommend. And I would love for everyone to stay here the whole time. It is a long day. It's 9 to 6. But even if you get like a little nugget out of that, would be awesome for anyone. Any,
Sure. I'm going on a mini trip on Friday, if I would. But this is not gonna be like on.
no, sorry. I wish it could, but it can't. Any other questions? All right. We'll be closed on Thursday, next Thursday. ALC is doing the block party. We kind of went through this. I do not know what the menu is quite yet, but we will let you know. Boat cruise. So we have about, well, what is the date today? The 11th. So we have 19 more days, right, to get on that boat. So you need to have your listing signed and in command to be able to get your name on the boat. So it's July 16th that will be happening. It's from 1 to 3 or 4-ish. If you're on a team and you only do buyers, you refer a listing to your rainmaker or your team lead, and they sign that and get it into command. You are also on the boat. If you're on a team and you're support staff, director of ops, you automatically get on when your rainmaker gets onto that boat. What questions do you have for that so far? If you're already on the boat, your face is on Candy's door. So go see it. Maybe if you're not on the boat, you're like, ooh, do I want to hang out with these people? And I'm guessing the answer will be yes. So then we can try to get you on that boat by the end of the month.
Also,
Question?
if you're like, I should be on this door, but my listing, oh, I should check command. Maybe it's not.
Just let us know. Make sure you get on.
Will Derek be in his Florida beach attire? Yes.
When is Dirk
When is he not?
Right.
Happy hour next Wednesday is at Cowboy Jack's, which is 7 minutes away. We haven't been there in a long time, so it's right on 94 and Rockford Road.
494 and.
Plymouth.
Yeah, good one.
Yep, it's literally right up the street. It's
Where's that?
super cheap.
Where's that at? I was like downtown, really?
No, they do, and they don't want to do anything.
Any other questions? All right.
I put this in here because some people still need CE credits, and Lindsay Frawley, who taught other classes for us, is hosting another 2 hours of free credit. I know, so if you need credit, scan this QR code and get some more for free. I'll put this out later too. We can get this one for free. You can also get the required module for free. So
Contest today.
finish these up, guys.
That contest.
I do like everyone in the back, all of a sudden like, I got my phone out, I still need. I don't know, when does the contest end? It is today. Yeah, you guys already sent the email.
That was smart. Oh, yeah.
Okay, here's another fun one. So last week we talked about career night, right? So anyone that you know that wants to get into real estate, is already in real estate classes, or is completely done and looking for a brokerage, right? So all 3 stages, like, ooh, I'm wondering what this is all about, to I'm in it, to I'm done. Refer them to this class, right? And when you refer them to this class and they show up and they say, hey, I was referred by, because we're gonna also have a card there. And then every time I get someone in, because I see who registers, I'll let people know to see who the person was that referred them, and you get $20, just straight up $20. No questions asked, right? The reason for this is what we've found, just like you, right, is referrals are the best way for us to grow as a market center, in regards to newer agents. We can do many different lead gen sources, but the referral base is the best one. And the other part of that is getting them in face to face so that we can actually talk to them. They can ask the questions that they desire prior to either getting into classes or while they're in it. We have questions around this. It is on the 26th of June and it's at 3 p.m. It'll be about an hour long and it's in here in the training room. Questions around that at all?
Bring the person with us, correct?
Yeah, you don't even have to come. You can just tell them to show up here. All right. Ooh, and this is the winner it is. I feel like I get to hold it, you get to pick it.
Oh, okay.
Because when I pick it, then it's like, okay.
Well, thank you so much for an amazing response. I got so many emails of, I'm done, I have just left, and here's my plan. Really proud of everybody that has a name in here. So this is for $5, and it is Wendy.
Or did she give you a?
I purchased a.
And-
In the car on my way to Fargo.
Oh, nice.
So that is the plan.
I love it.
Here you go, Wendy.
I like how they're.
There's a plan. If there's a
Oh,
plan,
I've already
right?
bought it.
There's a plan.
Friday.
And I also think it's like when it's in front of you and you know what you're missing, right? Numbers don't lie, and your CE numbers don't lie. So you need to have a plan on how to get them done by hopefully before June 30th.
Oh, also on that note, Mara just sent out a thing too, saying that with the potential government shutdown happening, to just make sure that your dues are paid and that your licensing stuff is done maybe a little sooner this year, in case something like that happens.
I have feelings. I was like, how do you know when that's gonna happen? And then what if
I
we
don't
don't
know,
know,
right? I don't-
Not done.
Maybe put that in their email just to make fun of
Don't,
their.
like-
I think nothing happens, right?
Things are
Like,
better.
you still have your license and it
If
just
it's-
goes on?
I
Is
think
it really
it's shut
automated?
down. Like,
Yeah.
there's-
I'll shut down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got this last one from Alex. Okay, I'll stand up. From Alex, who's so cool and so great. We love her. So this next month, I am giving this to someone who is in the office every day. I see them working really hard. They stepped up a lot when their team lost a member. And I also love that when they have questions about the printer or command, they come to me and they want to sit and learn. They don't just expect me to do it for them. So I love that they do that. So I am giving this to Courtney.
And can I add to that? She's always so helpful. Courtney does some amazing marketing and videos and stuff like that. And whenever I go ask her, she's always so helpful with any suggestions and things like that. It's great.
Super cool.
Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Great, so we have some new faces in the market center. So we have Jahani and April. Neil and his first listing. Cute little puppy of his is like not a cute little puppy anymore. It's like this big. Where the shoes? I don't know, because he came in the other day and didn't bring them in. So I was really upset about it.
I mean, my dog's coming.
All right, so we have some Capri. Jason really needs to get a new kid. Not Johnson.
Not Johnson.
No. Johnson's picture is great. And you're a first time camper, so you. Jason, how long have you been in the business?
Full-time or part-time? I sold my company in January, so since like February 1st.
Okay. We're just gonna leave it at that real quick, just for everybody. Good job. All right, main numbers. As usual, sometimes we make mistakes, right? We haven't in quite some time. But if you feel like these numbers are wrong or something is not on there, please let us know. Also, it has to be an active listing. So if you say, hey, I had 10 listings and only 2 showed up and 8 are still withheld, that's why they're not on there, right? So it's a little bit different when we do our numbers for May. So again, if you do have any discrepancies, just let us know. Whoa.
I know.
I tried to go through all of these meetings. This is the longest list that we have had in a really long time. I just want to say there are so many cool things to celebrate in May that we'll get to throughout this time period. But just having this many people with a listing that is a solo agent is absolutely remarkable. If you're in the room, can you just stand up so I don't have to go through all of them?
I usually go through the list.
You want me to go through the
I
list?
think so.
Okay,
Oh,
all
it's
right.
Important to recognize.
We got Jim with 3. All right, listings taken volume. We've got Jim Camarada at 3.9, Maureen at 7.9.
Enthusiastic clapping through.
See? All right, closed volume. We've got Pete Collins at 1.4. We got Amanda at 1.1. So incredible numbers for individual agents closings in May, you guys, like, I am so, so, so proud of you. Closed GCI, we got Pete in the first. All right, listings taken for top individual teams. We have Jose Hilario team. Closed volume for top individual teams. We have Brahma Real Estate Group at. Closed GCI, we have Brahma Real Estate Group in number 1, followed by. This one's gonna get really fun throughout the year, because if Jose hears about him being in his spot and Rick being on the top spot, it's gonna get really interesting, guys. All right, top teams, we have Damarie Enterprise with 5 listings. All right, listings taken volume, Damarie with 5. I should have done like a breath work before today. I think I'll take time. Like, yeah, this is my breath work for the day. Maybe you need to stand up. Right? Like, it's really.
Mhm.
All right, closed volume for May, we have the Sorrento team at 3.7. Closed GCI, top team being Sorrento team. Followed by all right, so top groups with listings taken, Homer's Group with 9, Desert Property. Taking volume. We've got Homer's Group with 7. All right, closed volume, we've got the Homers Group with 6.2. We've got. Closed GCI, number 1 spot is 45 Reserve. Listings taken for commercial, the Me and Commercial team with 2, Steadley taken. Oh, you can get Me and Commercial team. Volume, we have Stedman's with 1.7. Wow.
Nice numbers.
What was going on in April and March and everything that led up to May? I want to hear some, like, there were a lot of people that were performing in May. So what was going on? If I can say all those numbers and be exhausted, you can be really busy, exhausted, and still talk.
You know, I was verifying some of the numbers to MLS, like some of the listings, and I was double checking some of Desurix. And so I was looking up their 9 new listings. 8 out of 9, 8 of them were pending.
Super cool.
I mean, I thought that was so crazy. And so, yeah, 8 of them are pending out of the 9. I was just
They all
double
went
checking the
really
dates.
fast.
So I thought that was really cool.
What else? What else is going on?
Summer leaves were coming to an end.
Summer leases, okay.
4 quote buyers I had in May, 3 of them have forgotten the June, July. That they
Okay.
didn't want to.
Got it. Good to know. What else?
Most of our listings were doing, they had the same mindset. They wanted to get on before the spring rush. So there wasn't a, an influx of supply.
Okay.
No, so it's maybe one of the reasons why all the desserts properties sold so quickly also. There's just not a lot of schools out.
What else? Did anyone actually lead gen? Get up higher. Who did lead gen? Who actually did lead gen? Like constant lead gen?
In March and April.
Yeah. Yeah? Are you seeing that come to fruition? Because, right, it's really frustrating when you're doing it and you don't see it, you don't see it, you don't see it. And then all of a sudden you're like, bam, right? I mean, some of the people on there that are consistently on there, right, are always lead genning. So a lot of times, when we hear the ALC and you hear the struggles, or you hear different interviews of what people do to get to where they are, right? These numbers are really, really cool, but there's a lot that goes into these numbers, right? It doesn't just happen. Like, it doesn't just show up one day and all of a sudden you're like, I want to be like that person. We got some really cool new technology for various different things for recruiting, but it also shows the trajectory of agents, that how long they've been in the business and where they went, what it looks like. And I know we have our numbers in Command where you can go see your reports. It's an actual graph. And it is really cool to look at because not only does it show your numbers, Tony asked me yesterday about a particular agent that's not in this market center. And he said, where's this business at? Right. And I showed him, and this particular agent was like a consistent agent, had a dip, and then it just shot up. And it's been in the same amount of years that Tony's been in the business. He's like, it's interesting because when Tony looked at his was different, right? And that was the time where he was growing a team or not growing a team and becoming an individual agent. So if you've been in the business for a while and want to see what that looks like, please feel free to reach out to me because the graph is really cool. It's a really cool thing just to see where you're at. It also shows your lifelong, as an agent, what you've earned in GCI. I shared that with an agent the other day and he goes, well, where'd that go? Because it's not my bank account. And was like very serious about it when he said it. He was like, you've got to be kidding me. And I was like, no, this was your gross GCI, right? And he's like, well, my bank account doesn't look anywhere near that of what I've made in the last 8 to 9 years, right? Which I think can be really eye-opening too, right? When I hit on numbers and then you see that number at the end and you're like, man, nowhere near that. What did I do, right? Or what are my expenses, right? Because it can be all of those things, or how expensive is life actually. So if you're interested in looking at that, please feel free to let me know because I'd love to be able to show you that information. Any questions around the, yeah.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. And you know what, if we're doing interviews too, and some of the agents would allow us to share that, it'd be really cool to watch their trajectory, right? And we've been doing that for a long time. It was an idea of like, where do agents start, right? Because a lot of agents that are up on this board did not start at selling, $7 million in 1 month. They might have squeaked by with like 1/4 of that in their first year, or they might have been 1/2 of that, and then they had some dips, and then they went, they kept growing. So it just shows how much time it takes to get to where you want to be sometimes. And then there was another agent I showed yesterday that they made half of their GCI in the last 5 years. And they've been in it for 18, I believe. So also shows how much you can change your life in a 5-year period of time. Okay. So these numbers, if I'm like doing this, there's like a glare on the screen. I'm not like, I can't really see all the numbers. So this is us against the MLS against the area, right? So our area is down below. So this is just what we pick because it's where most of our listings come from or where the buyers are closing. So in closed units, this is the first time we have had a negative in a long, long time. Okay. looks interesting because we just had some really good numbers showing up, but some of those numbers are moving forward, right? Those listings are gonna be numbers that we see in June, July, and August. But closed units, we were down by 2.7%. The MLS was actually up by 8.2, and our area was down by about 2. So we're tracking more with our area. However, the MLS is outpacing us. Closed volume, we were up 1.7, the MLS is up 13, and our area is down minimally. And then listings taken, we are up 2.5, the MLS is up 13, and our area is up 1.3. Listings taken volume, we're up 7, the MLS is up 18.7, the area is up 4.8. Listings sold, we're actually down 2.7. MLS is up 14.3, and then our area is down 2.07. I don't want to minimize our successes, right, at all. But what is the difference with these numbers and compared to where we were at as a market center versus the months before? Did anyone answer that piece? Wendy?
Yeah, every month we've been up. Our numbers have been more than double MLS and the area, so it's significant that we kind of feels like
We've been
fell off a cliff.
outpacing, we've
Yeah.
been outpacing the market for a long time. Okay, and that's not a bad thing that it's here. The positive is there are more opportunities that we are not capitalizing on, right? Like we've not gotten all the opportunities that are actually out there for a lot of different things, right? Because the MLS is up quite a bit in some different areas. Yeah, Derek.
We are actually above or outperforming the area, which
We are
I think
outperforming
is
the area. Yep.
is probably more important or more applicable than the MLS as a whole, because
If you're only working in that area, right? Because some people don't just work in this area. Even though they're in the office.
well, sure,
right?
but it doesn't matter if like a bunch of homes sold in St. Cloud, for us, or
Yeah, yeah,
pick somewhere further away,
Yeah.
Black Duck, right? Like, what difference does it make? At least within our area, I think that's more indicative of what is maybe really going on.
can I be the devil's advocate on
No.
that?
Especially
So
like-
if our area goes down, right, because we all know that different areas shift, right? And there's different things that sell and don't sell, and the area might not be selling as hot. Would you stay in that area even if it's down and be like, but I'm outperforming the market? Or would you seek other areas of opportunity that are high in sales that you could find other opportunities? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, you would,
It's-
or.
well, it's an argument, but
But do you know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing I would just want us to watch and be careful of, Rick.
I would follow your lead there, Kami, and not Derek's.
right?
Me too.
That's how-
Focus list.
Yeah, no, I really like when you.
No, I don't think that one. That's all I got in me. Yeah, we'll follow,
It's a little quieter voice. you
follow
said
his
it in,
fashion
too.
sense over you though, at the moment, so. So there's something to be considered here, and that is that the average sales price in our area is significantly higher than the average sales price in the entire MLS. Looking at what's happening with the increased contracts written, and contracts written volume, the overall MLS, listings sold volume, overall MLS, that's lower priced, more average priced home selling in other communities. So yes, it is our responsibility to get into some of those other communities that maybe we don't always sell in. If you're not selling in Richfield and Bloomington and Egan and, and Inver Grove and other areas, that may be a consideration, or even going west of Corcoran and Carver and such, right? Just go a little bit further, because obviously that market is booming.
Well, and I think to consider that too, right? There's different markets that are higher in luxury than others, right? So like if luxury gets hit or first time home buyers get hit, right? If one's thriving and one might be getting hit more, just depending on price point wise and average price point, you just gotta watch that piece. And these are numbers to guide you in your business, right? Like is essentially why we do this. Is so we know where we stand. We know what opportunities out there and we know where other opportunities can be. Is that fair? Okay. I don't know where I ended up. Okay, listing sold volume, we're up 1.7, MLS is up 17. Area is down. Contracts written, This was a higher number in past months, right? This number was usually double digits, quite honestly, outpacing. We're still out, we're still positive. The MLS was up 23.6% and our area was even up 3.6%. Contracts written volume, we are up 6%, MLS is up 22%, and the area is up 5%. What questions do we have around this or observations that you might have? No, you can talk. No, Jerry, we love your opinion. Jerry's like, I'm not saying. Anyone thinking anything?
Contracts written is a little disconcerting, as that's our windshield about where we're going. What'll happen next, so.
Can I ask an honest question? That contract's written, right? Sometimes we see that after really, really big pushes, right? So we just saw some really big pushes and then all of a sudden it's the, right? Where you gotta keep the foot on the gas pedal the whole time, right? Because that is gonna show some of the closed units in the next month or two. And I could probably project where those are gonna be. And from these numbers, I can probably project where the MLS and our areas. Right? So kind of me prefacing, hey, have we been lead genning consistently? And what does that look like? That was kind of a precursor to this conversation, right? Because we want to make sure that we're still doing that even when we're busy. Even if it's not as much, keep the consistency of the lead gen, because otherwise those peaks and valleys happen and they happen more often. Fair? Heather, question.
For those of us who are building our database and it's not, we don't have a whole lot in the pipeline or we're trying to get that built up. The MLS is outperforming our area. Would it behoove us to dial and knock in spaces outside, saying, do we go ahead and, even though we don't normally work with Bloomington or Richfield, do we go ahead and start to build a database there and kind of shift where we're doing it, even because what we have now is minimal anyway?
I mean, I always think that's a smart idea. When you're gonna go and door knock or call any area, look to see how many pending sales they've had in the last year. Because there's some areas that might have, 1,000 homes and there's like 50 closings, right? And that same 1,000 homes in a different area could have, 315, right? So it's like, okay, know your numbers on that piece of it. So when you're door knocking any area, be like, hey, there are a lot of homes for sale here, or there's a lot of buyers that are, here. The other thing is I would look to the neighborhoods right next to those, because that's the next push usually, right? Is if this area all of a sudden had all these and it was all this move in, then all of a sudden the next one is like, okay, guess what? St. Louis Park isn't, we don't have as much anymore. Now it goes to Hopkins. Like that's how that happens, right? Is it's like the next tier, next tier, next tier. Same thing out in our area, right? If this is now overpriced for some buyers, they're going to move out to the next one because it's going to be a little bit cheaper, right? So just be really cautious on and watch those numbers. If you're like, I have no one to call, I don't know what to do for lead gen. I used to honestly just go on the MLS and see what was for sale where, right? And then be like, okay, what's pending, what's not pending? And then I pick an area and I just go. It's easy as that, right? Just find that spot and go. Any of you other agents that are lead genning or doing different things, what is your suggestion on that?
Because you went to the MLS, saw the ones, and then hit that neighborhood. Are you going for sellers or are you prospecting for buyers?
I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't sell often anymore. Except for last month. And I did something specific. So you guys saw, and I wasn't even gonna say it at first, but you saw a name up there that you haven't seen in a long time, and it was my team. I've been lead generating 1 hour for the last 4 months. 1 hour a week. And we were the top GCIO for groups. So when I'm up here, I don't say it because I don't believe it. Okay? I'll probably get kind of emotional about it because I'm like, I don't sit and like Rick, I was like, oh, you're not optimistic. You're not optimistic. No, I just believe in each one of you that if you do it, it will happen. It will happen. 1 hour got that number. Okay, 4.2 million is what we closed, or 4.3, don't remember what it was. It doesn't take a lot. And as I coach some of you, it's like, I can't figure it out. I can't do it. I don't know. And you probably look at me and you're like, well, you don't really sell. So what did I tell the leadership team? I said, and I told the ALC, I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna get up on that board. So that it validates me as a coach and what I said. Is that fair?
So it's not really hard.
No,
You just have to do the right
it
thing.
sucks. You know what really sucks? I was at a graduation party last Wednesday and someone came up, past client of mine. Oh my God, guess what? We just moved to Maple Grove and we are so excited. I was like, that is so awesome. So happy for you. And they're like, yeah, but the sale of my house, you know, we had 3 canceled listings. And I was like, shut up. Like, you know, with a smile on my face. And they were so excited to tell me, which was so, it just pissed me off so much, right? And at the same time, I have not talked to them since I got in this role. So what could I actually expect? So here I am. I'm like, I am so excited for you too. Like, this is so great. Like, let me know what I can do to support you and your other agent. But that was a real thing, right? And I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, cool. Their house was 650 in St. Paul and they probably just bought another 750 and that number could have been completely different, right? So it's like, it's not hard, but we don't do it. We don't do it either because we don't want to, or we don't do it because we're scared, or we don't do it because we're that was like the #1 rejection when someone comes up and is so excited about their new house. I would rather have 150 no's, like, I'm not gonna work with you, than someone come up to me and say, we just bought a new house. Isn't that awesome? No, it's not, right? Like, that is worse. That is so much worse. Has anyone ever else felt that way? Did that feel worse than someone saying no to you? Yes, I hope it did, because the no had no money attached to it. That feeds your family and allows you to live the life that you want, okay?
Amy, I
Yeah.
went to Florida for 1 week and my niece bought a house while I was gone. I was like, she just got divorced. She moved in with my brother. She's been in with my brother for like 2 months. And I said, hey, I'm here to help you. I leave for 1 week and she buys a house. I'm like, so I feel you. I feel you.
Like,
Next
it's
time,
real,
don't
right?
tell her
It's
you're
real.
traveling.
And it's like, what is the conversations to be able to get, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I say these things from literally the bottom of my heart. And sometimes they come across as like, oh, she's really hard and, you know, doesn't really like us and, or whatever, doesn't have any emotions. That's not true. Okay, that's not true at all. Like, I feel very passionate about each and every one of your businesses. Very passionate. Rick?
I also think that it can be, our prospecting can be a lot easier if we take advantage of what's happening every season throughout the year. Like right now, I was talking with Sherry Welly yesterday. She has 7 pending transactions and
That's her birthday today.
it's her birthday today, yeah, young lady. So I went through and asked her about each one of those clients. Every single client that she's pending right now, 7, are all from networking. And so we went through them. It was her women's Bible study. It's her pickleball, one of her multiple pickleball groups, financial advisor's son. These are all things where she's gone out and done things. Well, these are naturally happening right now. How many grad parties do you go to? How many boating events do you go to? How many, luncheons do you go to? I mean, just think about what's happening now with kids out of school. All the connections that you're having intrinsically and naturally. You just got to play into those, not be, hey, I'm a realtor, remember? Just be there for people and they will be talking about houses. They bought with someone else or, that they're looking.
don't care where you go, someone's talking about it. You could be in a gas station and someone's talking about, oh, we're doing this, or like, there's always someone talking about homes. Rentals, sales, buying, life events, someone's talking about something all the time that you can interject yourself to and say, hey, what are you currently working with? We talked about this yesterday when we were coaching. You're sitting at a bar, right? Having some appetizers. Bethany does this often at Boulevard. Everyone knows Bethany at Boulevard. She's gotten so many clients at Boulevard because people will just be sitting right next to you. We did it at one happy hour, Eric. Remember, there was a lady, we were at happy hour and it was like Halloween and she was talking, she's like, oh, what are you guys doing here? I was like, oh, a real estate company. She's like, oh, really? And I kind of jokingly, we just said, why? Are you interested in buying or selling? No. What about anyone you know? No. And then I don't even know what the next question was.
You just
But
kept
by the
asking
fourth
us.
question, she was like, yeah, I might know someone. Who should I talk to? And it was like, here's a teed up lead. Like, make it a game sometimes. Don't be so flippin' serious. Be like, why? You thinking about buying or selling? No. You sure? You know anybody?
Amy, I was at Quick Trip right by my house and the guy's standing by my motorcycle when I came out of Quick Trip. And he says, cool bike, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, thanks so much. And he says, I had one of these. And he starts chatting with me. Cool. Then he says, you know, you live next to the guy who's got Potato, which is my French bulldog. I'm like, how weird is this? I'm like, no, I'm the guy. That is mine.
Potato. Steel potato?
He's like, we have a Frenchie too. And we walk by your house. We see Potato in the front yard, like all the time, like weird. So this guy obviously lives nearby. How long have you been on Lake Riley? And I said, well, however many years. I'm a real estate broker. So this house next door, I sold that one too. And just kind of briefly, well, this was like 3 weeks ago. Yesterday, I showed him in off market, one of my neighbor's houses. Will be $1.4 million next year on Lake Riley. And he's gonna buy it. We're gonna put the deal together. It's gonna close in March. So.
Get a French bulldog.
But it's like that whole life thing.
Needless to say, or a motorcycle. I mean, my moped brings up some conversation too. It's blue and it goes 30 miles an hour, so moped, motorcycle, whatever.
It's like normal life experiences. It's kind of a weird, it's just be aware.
Just be aware, like, part of this job is just being conscious of what's going on, right? And like listening to people and being there as a resource. Like, it truly is. And if you're like, ooh, I don't want to do that, there are different ways to do it, right? You can buy leads, you can call, and so that you're not face to face. Like, there's ways, there's always a way to find leads. Is that fair for everybody? Okay. All right, so now this is just our market center this year compared to last year. So closed units this year, we were at 88 closed units compared to last year where we were at 100. Our closed volume was 50 million versus 58. Our listings taken though was 90 versus 66. Okay, that could totally be the market. I'm gonna say it's because of the listing contest and the vote, but you can take whatever side you want. Okay, we did not have a listing contest last year during this time frame, so just saying. And our listings taken volume was 60. I mean, these are incredible numbers in regards to the listing side, right? Because we've had such low inventory for so long per se, and all the media saying it. So us taking listings is number one, increasing that two, it's always market share because they're seeing your name more. So 60.9 million versus 38. Listings sold, we had 40 versus 45. Listings sold volume, we have 23.5 versus 28.8. Contracts written, this is where it kind of shows we're 90 versus 125 last year, right? So we are falling short on that piece. Contracts written volume, we're at 51 compared to 67. Our GCI was 1.3 versus 1.6. Our profit share was actually outpacing the last year, which was ours is 12.121 versus 12.38. Really awesome. And not on there is I think I've said this, we hit, for us, company dollar wise, we have not hit 100,000 in company dollar since July of, what was that, 2021? 2021, when we reduced the cap, right? So when you look at expenses and you look at profits and you look at all of those things, right? We took our cap down by quite a bit at that point in time, and we have not hit that company dollar, since 2021. So that's been almost 4 years, that we have not done that, that's where our main profit, for the market center comes from. You guys have questions around these numbers? Comment?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm like, welcome. What else?
Could I circle back to your hour of lead gen?
Yeah.
Was that primarily in your sphere?
It was my sphere, and I would go where some of our buyers were looking. And it was all calls. Every single one of it was calls, or it was in person. I have not talked about real estate with people for a long time, because my main focus is recruiting, right? And growing other people's businesses. So I don't talk about it often at all, quite honestly. And I realize that when I do, things turn around fairly quickly. When you just mention it. And again, I could mention it at a party, I could mention it, out to coffee. If I'm sitting in a coffee shop and I hear someone talking about real estate, and I don't think that person that they're sitting with is a real estate agent, and even if they are a real estate agent, I'll still ask. And they get a little ticked off. And then I'm like, oh, what brokerage are you with? I don't recognize. It's just my backhanded way of being like, who are you? But there's always conversation to be having. I feel really comfortable with it. I mean, I've now been in the business, 15 years, John.
No,
May was
I remember
15
you.
years.
you were just a little wild thing.
I was, wasn't I?
You were in my office more than anybody else, I know that.
And look at me now, all grown up. Give Don some hard times, that's for sure.
They like interesting.
It was, I don't do that though, to be honest.
That's true.
As you were talking about calling for 1 hour, what I was thinking is if anybody's not happy with their business, they can change.
It's a matter of mindset, right? It's a matter of mindset, and what I think it goes back to though, do you want it? Do you actually want it, right? Because if you want something, it will happen. I don't care. I don't care how it has to happen. You will make it happen, right? There's probably been a time in every single one of our lives where it's like, that's gonna be really hard. But you did everything you had to do to get to it. Can you guys think of at least one time in your life? It doesn't have to be monetary. It could be anything. But you did everything you had to get either through something or to get to something. But you made up your mind. That's where you wanted to go. You knew what the destination was. Sometimes you didn't even know how to get to it. And that can't really be taught. That has to be an internal thing, right? It can be modeled. It can be modeled, but it has to be something you have to find inside yourself. Any other questions?
A statement, but I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
Somebody who probably touches me now, so.
Oh, I'm really liking this, actually. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. What other questions do we have? Can I ask you, if you're not calling people or you're not talking to people in person, will you be vulnerable like I was vulnerable? What are you scared of? What are you scared of?
Feeling like you're the only reason why you're reaching out is to make money off.
Is that the only reason you're reaching out?
Well, the people I've done business with are cold leads kind of thing. I mean, sometimes yes.
Okay.
But that's something that, you go 6 months without reaching out to somebody and then you go, for me, I'll speak for myself only, but you kind of go, well, they're gonna know the only, you know what I mean? I hope this isn't coming across that's wrong, but.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. And could you flip that, right? I mean, the people that I called at first, it was literally an apology call. It was like a tail between your legs kind of dog moment, right? Where you're like, I have not talked to you in 4 years about anything. Right? Like I haven't even reached out about your kids. And it was like, I mean, that's like a real conversation, right? So if you haven't talked to them in 6 months, you're like, man, 6 months went by really fast. What do you need? Like, do you need anything like remodeling wise? Do you need anything? How's the rental? Are you still renting? Like, I just realized I haven't been there for you.
Amy, I think
Cool.
it's super important. Just ask yourself this before you make the call. Do you care about them or do you not? It's very, very simple. You either care about them or you don't. If you don't care about them, don't call them. If you do care about them, call them. If it's been 4 years, you you call them and you say, hey, it's been a long time since we talked. I imagine a lot's happened in your life. Can you share with me some of the things that have happened? Because you do care. But if you ask yourself if you care, it's going to be real easy when you get on the phone because you're going to remember why.
And on that note too, I found something that really helps us too, and we haven't have an event. That's an excuse to call somebody, right? You know what I mean? Like, hey, just inviting you down to this. We're doing a happy hour and putting something together. Would love to see you. Find something to find a bullshit reason to talk to somebody, right? Like having that event gives you an excuse to call. You're not asking for business, you're inviting them to come do something.
And this time of year,
know?
there are so many summer events. Like if you have people that you know that live in a certain neighborhood, a certain area, like you could do 4th of July fireworks. Hey, did you know that these are all the places that are doing this? Like I just realized that yours, that's close to Plymouth, or wherever you're calling, is this. Man, there's a really cool, rodeo going on this date, because you could call me and tell me that so that I know when it is. I could be your first call. I'd be like, hey, this is when this is happening, so you don't miss it this year. You know what I mean? Like there's so many reasons that you can call someone and then you work that back in. They're gonna be like, how's business? Like if they know you're in the business, they're gonna ask that at some point in time. Because let me tell you, the person that bought, then they were like, well, how's your business? Well, it would have been great, but walk away from this conversation. But they'll ask, right? They'll ask.
Can I ask Alex a question? Alex has been a great resource for me, by the way. Thank you, Alex. Okay, if I called you and I said, hey, Alex, I've got this embroidery business, as you probably know, right? And I know you're on a softball team. Hey, you need any hats or shirts for your team right now? What would that put you off at all? Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely not.
Right. So I think if you look at it that, hey, I'm providing a service. I'm not trying to sell you knives or Amway or soap or something like that. People buy, people sell. And it's no different than like that. That's how I always envision it. But I'll talk to anybody.
I mean, I think that's a fair point. I mean, to be honest, people always ask me that question. Like if someone knocks on your door, would you close the door on them? I'm like, I give them like one try and then I'm like, nope. But I used to always door knock. And I was like relentless, right? And when I first started door knocking, I was like, they're not gonna like me. So I was like, I don't like people that knock on my door. And then finally I was like, I actually don't care when people knock on my door. Give me your best spiel. I was at dinner the other night and there was this little kid. If he would have been anywhere near 18, I'd have been like, you're getting into real estate. But I think he was like 13, right? And him and his little basketball team was sitting there and they were like, we're gonna do this, whatever. It could have been real, it could have been fake, he could have been just collecting money. I actually did not care. And he had the best script. He looked me in the eyes and he was like, this is what we're doing and we need to raise funds for this. And he's like, we've been working really hard. I mean, it was like on. And I'm like, this kid has practiced this script so many times. I'm going to give you as much money as you want. Not because I care actually where that went. That kid's going somewhere. Like, he knew what he had to do to get what he wanted. And he was 13. I don't even know if he actually plays basketball. I don't even care. They didn't have any jerseys on. They didn't have anything. Right? But I was like, man, that's impressive. He didn't just he didn't have a piece of paper. He didn't have anything. It was just like, boom. Right? So I'm like, my thought is like, if this 13-year-old kid can do it, like, why the heck as adults are we so scared? And what are we scared of? If you didn't answer that out loud, take that home with you this week and be like, what am I actually scared of? If it's no, try again. Because you get no all the time. Stores closed. No, they're not letting you in. You call the doctor. No, we don't have availability. You don't care when you get those no's. I'd like an almond milk latte. No, we only have oat milk. That's a no. Why aren't you affected? Why do you put so much power on the no? Like,
What Rick said is how I motivate myself to lead gen. If I truly care about people, I'm gonna call and ask how they are. And when I call and ask how they are, there's a communication law of reciprocity. As we're talking for a while, they'll be like, how are you? What, I've heard crazy things about real estate. How are you doing? Well, we don't have as many listings as we did last year, but we're selling houses. You know anybody who'd like to move? You know, it doesn't have to be a conversation where you're like, hey, don't you want to move? You can actually care about that.
because we don't care. And then we feel unauthentic. Ask yourself why you don't care. Okay? Because that's real. And usually the reason you don't care is because you're not taking care of yourself at some point, right? You can't care about people if you don't care. I'm gonna leave you guys with that. And what do we got for wants and needs? Yeah.
You've got a lake property on Lake Sweeney, which is in Golden Valley. It's a fully recreational lake. It'll be coming on, it's coming soon right now, and it'll be on the market on Thursday. And it's gonna be listed at 1.150. And it's it'll be either remodel, tear down, whatever, but it's a great little recreational lake that butts up against Theater Worth. And then we also have a condo or townhome up in Maple Grove that that's also gonna be coming on the market this Thursday. And that's about 1 bedroom on the main level, and it's right behind Arbor Lakes, and it's 2 bedrooms on the lower level. And that'll be coming on at 420. And then we have a condo coming on right off of 30, right by New Hope or Crystal. It's in Crystal. It'll be coming on. It's a 2 bedroom, 2 bath condo that'll be coming on probably next week in that 150 range. So anyway.
Awesome. Before the next wants and needs, can we put up then we also, as you guys are saying wants and needs, we can start forming a line. So if your name is up here, if you did have an active listing, your name's not up here, you can also come up and we're gonna start spinning as well. What other wants and needs do we have?
We have one that comes on today in Wayzata. It's on a really private lot just on the other side of Carlton Parkway. 4 bed, 3 bath. Could use some updating inside, but has a really pretty sunroom. And then a condo that comes on tomorrow in Plymouth. It's a 2 bed, 2 bath. Sorry, the price on the Wayzata one is $700. And then the condo in Plymouth, 2 bed, 2 bath. It's an end unit condo, so it's the only one that has they have a covered deck and a screen-in porch, which is really cool. Completely renovated on the inside, $225. It's a really great price point, super pretty. That comes on tomorrow.
What else?
Okay, yep.
All right, everyone on this list, come up here. You can win full cash,
Get a big one.
straight cash.
I know, I'll wait.
All right, Alex, what do we got? What do we got?
Now we're.
I got one.
All right, let's go. I was lucky.
Oh, so close.
Get back.
Number-